She lived childless for 10 years. People mocked her everywhere she went. She was ridiculed every time she walked through the village. But today, she is entrusted with a mysterious pot under one strict condition. It must never be opened. Join me as we watch this beautiful story from beginning to end. But before we continue, I kindly ask you to press the like button, then click the part written subscribe. Now write your comment about this story and tell us where you are watching from, which country or region. In the village of Kazinga, surrounded by green farms and thick forests that cast cool shadows over the land, a woman's honour and dignity were measured by the sound of a baby crying inside her home. Her value was seen in the ululations of neighbours, the proud smiles of in-laws, and the colourful cloths tied around waists during joyful celebrations welcoming a newborn child. A woman who bore children walked with her chest held high, considered complete in the eyes of society. But for Natasha, the doorway of her home was ruled by a heavy silence of shame. Her yard had never heard the cry of a baby. Instead, it echoed with whispers of mockery and ridicule from women who had been blessed with children without waiting long. Inside her small mud house, there was an even deeper silence. The silence of a womb that had never carried a child. Natasha had married a man named Ago out of deep love. But as the years passed without a child, that love slowly began to dry up like water in a well during a long drought. At first, Ago comforted her. "Let us keep waiting, my wife," he told her one night while holding her hands gently. "God's time never comes late. One day God will bless us too with a child." But the villagers were not patient. "Natasha is barren. Ago's house has no heir." Those words pierced Natasha's heart like thorns. One afternoon, the sun burned fiercely as dusty wind moved slowly across their courtyard. Natasha sat behind the house on a small wooden stool, washing clothes slowly while staring far away as if she were looking at another life that did not belong to her. Her hands moved out of habit, but her mind was buried deep in sorrow. Suddenly, from the front of the house, the sharp voice of her mother-in-law, Mama Ago, tore through the quiet afternoon like unexpected thunder. "Ago, my son," she shouted harshly, loud enough for neighbours to hear. "How long will you keep watering a dry tree? 10 years have passed since you married this woman, yet she has not given us an heir." Her voice grew even sharper. "She does not give birth. She just eats food and fills the toilet. Do you expect me to believe nothing is wrong? Or has she bewitched you? Why are you still with a woman who cannot bear children? She is useless to our family." Those words were like spears piercing Natasha's heart. She sat frozen, gripping the wet cloth tightly as tears slowly gathered in her eyes without her realizing it. Ago was a calm man by nature, gentle like the shade of a large forest tree, patient like the earth that endures sun and rain without complaint. Whenever his mother attacked Natasha with cruel words, he tried to calm the storm. "Mother," he said respectfully, "children come from God. They are blessings from Him. We humans cannot control when a child comes. Please do not blame my wife. It is not her fault." But Mama Ago would not listen. Her heart had become as hard as a stone baked under the desert sun. "Listen carefully," she said firmly. "If you do not marry a second wife before next month, one who can bear children, I will find one for you myself. I will not die before holding my grandchild." Those words hung in the air like a dark cloud promising a storm. That evening their home had no laughter, only silence filled with fear and heavy thoughts. When night came, Natasha lay beside her husband, but sleep refused to come. She could hear Ago breathing quietly, pretending to sleep, but she knew a battle was raging inside his heart. Even the most patient man has a limit, and in their village, a man without a child to carry his name was seen as someone whose memory would slowly disappear from the world. Natasha closed her eyes painfully, feeling as if her future was hanging by a very thin thread. Finally, the day she feared arrived. Ago stood at the doorway one evening holding a small bundle of clothes. His face no longer carried the warmth she once knew. "I cannot continue living like this without a child," he said coldly. "I have endured enough. I need a child. I need an heir to my name and my property. I have found another woman who will bear me children." His words were not angry. They were final. "I am leaving," he added without looking at her. "I cannot stay with you anymore." For a moment, Natasha's world stopped. She did not scream. She did not argue. She simply stood in the middle of the room, her hands trembling slowly. Ago walked away. The small house suddenly felt huge, empty and cold. Natasha turned slowly toward the wall as tears slid silently down her face. The quiet tears of a woman who had lived with patience, only to be left alone with silence. Every morning, Natasha went into the forest to collect firewood. Carrying her rope and small machete, she walked deep into places where most villagers feared to go. The forest became her comfort. There she could cry without anyone hearing. One day she reached a cave near a rocky spring where water flowed from the stones. The elders said it was not a place for ordinary people. She knelt down and prayed through tears. "Oh God, please give me a child. Even if not of my own blood, let someone call me mother. I have been mocked and humiliated because I have no child." Inside the cave, a faint light appeared. An old woman stepped forward, her eyes deep and mysterious. "I can give you a child," she said. Natasha's heart trembled. "I will do anything," Natasha replied desperately. The old woman took out a small black clay pot marked with strange symbols. "Inside this pot," she said slowly, "is the breath of your child." Then her voice grew heavy. "This pot must never be opened. If it is opened out of fear, pressure, or hatred, the breath inside will begin to fade. And if it is opened a second time, it will never return." She handed the pot to Natasha. "From today, you are pregnant. You will give birth to a girl. Her name will be Hala." Natasha bowed deeply. "I swear with my life, I will never open it." 9 months later, Natasha gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She named her Hala. The mysterious pot was hidden beneath her bed where no one could see it. Hala grew into a child with an unexplainable light on her face. Her voice was gentle, and her eyes were as calm and beautiful as the morning sea. The villagers loved her. But not everyone. 2 neighbors, Semeni and Zahura, carried hidden hatred in their hearts. For years they had mocked Natasha for being childless. Now they could not bear seeing her house filled with laughter. "There must be a secret," Semeni whispered. "Natasha could never have such a beautiful child," Zahura replied with envy. Their curiosity turned into obsession. One day, Natasha fell terribly sick with a strong fever. Semeni and Zahura came pretending to help, but they were searching for the secret. Finally, beneath the bed, they found the black clay pot. Their hearts pounded, not with fear, but with excitement. "Let's open it," Zahura whispered. Semeni slowly lifted the lid. Inside was a soft wind, like the gentle breathing of a sleeping child. The wind suddenly escaped through the window. The room fell silent. Terrified, Semeni dropped the pot. It shattered into pieces. That night, Hala complained of headaches. By morning, she had a fever. Within days, her strength faded, not like normal illness, but like someone slowly losing their breath. Natasha discovered the pot was gone. Realizing what had happened, she rushed to the cave with Hala in her arms. The old woman appeared again. "There is only one way," she said. "For Hala's breath to return, your breath must replace it. But you will die." Natasha did not hesitate. She hugged her daughter tightly. "Never let hatred live in your heart, even if the world is cruel to you." She took a deep breath and gently blew it into Hala's mouth. Light filled the cave. Hala gasped for air. Her life returned. But Natasha collapsed, like a candle that had willingly given its final light. 40 days after the funeral, something strange began to happen. Suhura suddenly clutched her chest. "I cannot breathe." Soon Semeni felt the same. Slowly, day by day, their breath weakened. They were alive, but it was as if their air was slowly being taken away. They later knelt before Hala, crying, "Forgive us." Hala looked at them calmly. "My mother did not take your breath," she said softly. "When you opened her secret, you opened the door to justice." Soon after, Suhura died quietly in her sleep. A month later, Semeni lost her breath in the middle of the night. The villagers said it was misfortune, but the elders whispered, "A mother's breath is sacred. If you play with it, your own breath will not be safe." Hala grew up respected and loved, and every sunrise reminded the village of one truth. Jealousy does not only steal another person's happiness. Sometimes, it steals your own life. Never think no one sees when you uncover someone's secret. There is a justice that has no eyes, yet it sees. And there is a mother's love with no body, yet it protects. Jealousy is fire. You may use it to burn someone else's house, but most of the time, it ends up burning your own.